To understand what we lost last week, you have to understand the man who was essentially the soul of that institution, Bruno Lionel Schroder, the great great grandson of the founder. He joined the board in 1963 and served as a non-executive director for 56 years, the longest serving board member of any FTSE 100 company. He was an Etonian, an Oxford man, a lifeguards officer. He owned a 17,000 acre estate on the Isle of Isla, where he bred prize-winning middle white pigs, and he flew his own plane. Forbes pegged his wealth at 6.2 billion. He was, in every sense, the patriarch. Manu, in Christmas 2016, I was invited to Bruno's annual Christmas party at his home. It was one of those quintessentially English affairs for the family to raise a glass and thank the staff. I think I paid out something in the order of 600 million pounds in dividends. So there we were, hundreds of us employees, champagne in hand, being thanked by a billionaire family. It's a lovely gesture. And if you thought about it for more than just 5 seconds, slightly ironic. What I remember most about that wasn't the toast. It was what happened shortly afterwards. I was wandering through his house and I stopped in front of a painting. It was a scene inside a church. There was this poor man in tattered clothes. And at the top of that painting, a gleaming and golden image of Christ, surrounded by the clergy, bejeweled, self-absorbed, deep in conversation amongst themselves. And just then, Manu, a voice from behind me said, "You like this painting?" It was Bruno. I nearly choked on my champagne. I said I did. And he went on to say it was his favorite. And I asked him why. And he said, because it reminds me that the poorest in society are the ones who are the truly pious. And just like that, Manu, he disappeared, moved on to the next guest, the next conversation. And I spent the rest of the evening and honestly, much of the years since, reflecting on the irony of that moment. One of the patriarchs of one of the oldest families in global finance, standing in his London home, surrounded by the wealth of centuries, telling a near stranger that the true virtue belongs to those who have nothing.
Absolutely. And Bruno, carried himself the way he spoke. Unfortunately, he died in February 2019. He was 86. He never saw this day. And I think, yeah, he would have hated it. Not the price, the principle.
The Schroeder's family control was never really about money, right? It was all about continuity, about the idea that some things are worth holding on to, even when the spreadsheet says otherwise. And I guess today the spreadsheet won.